What's going on? What's going on? How you feeling? It's good. How are you? I'm great. I'm great. I'm in a good mood. I'm looking forward to this. I see you. I see you got the background hearing it. I like that. I like. Oh, oh. I don't know if they have like popular logo on it. Oh, they might be rolling up. I got this on Etsy. I know what? Etsy. I found it on Etsy. Oh, okay. That's cool. That's cool. Was it expensive? Or, okay. Well, it was so. It's $200, but I mean, I couldn't get excited. But I know this topic is we want to help empower people with hearing loss. But before we get to that, I want to know. Tell me about your hearing loss journey. Yeah. What was that like? So I was diagnosed at the age of 25, so about 9 years ago now. So I wasn't born with hearing loss. I didn't really grow up with hearing loss. So I found that my experience was a little bit more unique, and I found it a little bit harder to actually find people to kind of like relate to, which is why I started my channel. But yeah, like the last 9 years have been a journey. I mean, we like to call it a hearing loss journey because it's a journey for sure, but it's been interesting. There's definitely, the grief period, the acceptance period, and like the embracing it. And I'm still on that journey. I have my ups and downs, but I think I was given hearing loss for a reason. I know that sounds weird, but I feel like I was given hearing loss to help other people. Nah. I'm so glad that you came on the platform to hear your hearing loss journey, because everyone's hearing loss journey is different. And for you to come on, you have a hearing loss at 25, it's like mind blowing. And I got mine when I was my dad told me when I was 1 year old or 12 months. I can't remember the top of my head, but like at a young age. But for you, it was late. Like, wow. So you was 25. So where were you? Give me a visual. So what location, or where were you? Yeah. So I had just graduated college, and I was just dating my husband about five months at the time. And yeah. I remember just like realizing I wasn't hearing well in certain situations, but I didn't think it was hearing. I was just like, that's good. But then I finally went to my family doctor because that's all I knew to do. I didn't know about audiologists at the time. And they're like, you know what? There's something going on with your ears. Let's take you to a specialist. And I was like, okay. And in that first appointment with the audiologist, they're like, you need hearing aids. And I was like, I'm 25. What do you mean? And it was only on the left side first, and now it's bilateral. But I was flabbergasted. I was like, what do you mean? I'm 25. What do you mean I need a hearing aid? Like, I didn't believe it. And thankfully, my husband, he was so supportive. And I think that was one of the biggest reasons that I was able to accept my hearing loss, because I had such a big support from my friends and family. But yeah, I remember leaving that appointment just crying, like not knowing what to do. Like, how am I going to afford a hearing aid? Like, what is going on? And 9 years later, here I am. And, I love my hearing loss. I know it's weird to say, but like, I fully accepted it. I'm okay with it. Like, it is part of who I am now. Nah. I love that because, some people are ashamed of hearing loss. It's stigma, like, how the society will perceive me, how would treat me. It will, growing up, it was just a lot of anxiety, you know what I'm saying? And you got this is a gift, you know what I'm saying? Coming this platform, inspiring people, and like what you're doing, you come in the platform and you're helping people to navigate hearing loss. That is a blessing. That's a gift, and to have that gift, to speak who is going through challenges and struggles, and you have some type of experience, you can navigate it and help them, and just give you a sense of purpose, a sense of drive. Yeah. So I appreciate it. So you went 5 years, was it masters, bachelors, or what?
Sorry, you cut out there a little bit. It's frozen.
Oh, no pressure.
Yeah, you keep freezing on me.
God. You
Um,
can hear me now?
I can hear you, but yeah.
1, 2, 3.
Oh,
Testing. 1, 2, 3.
good.
Alright. So my question is, you was 25, you have a hearing loss, you was in master's or bachelor's, or you do
No, I was just doing a college degree in fashion management, funnily enough, which I've done nothing with really. It was just one of those programs that I found it interesting.
So what impacted you? Like how did you what impacted you when you was at 25? What was that experience like for you?
With the good. So I think I was in denial for 6 months to a year about it. Like I had my hearing aid. I wore it when I needed to. But I was in denial for a very long time until it got to the point where I had to quit it. Like I couldn't like keep up with the conversations. I couldn't, enjoy being in a social setting. So I think I think it's one of those things that everyone goes through differently, and it takes everyone a different amount of time to accept the hearing loss. But yeah, it's a process, and like you had mentioned before, like feeling ashamed. Like I definitely was embarrassed and ashamed for the first few months, and I look back at that and I'm like, why? Like, there's nothing wrong with having a hearing loss. Like once you get past that stage of the grieving process, you kind of like, why would I think that? Like that's so silly of me. There's nothing to be ashamed of. There's nothing to be embarrassed about. You know?
How did you overcome that anxiety, that overcome the factor? And how did you overcome it? What shifted your mindset?
I think I think it's two reasons. I think one, like getting hearing loss in my 20s, I had already like found comfort in who I was as a person. So I was already like confident in myself before the hearing loss. I wasn't, going through puberty. I wasn't a teen. I wasn't navigating life in that way. So I was already kind of confident in who I was, which I think helped when I was diagnosed with hearing loss. Then there was also a moment, like three or four years. Yeah.
Oh, hold on. I think you're freezing. Oh my God, it's technology. So you're dead.
Back? Okay.
I apologize.
Well, that's okay. What I was going to say, I think it was like 3 or 4 years in, I realized my hearing aids are such powerful tools. Why am I hiding them? Why am I trying to not show them off and like tell people about my hearing loss? Like it's not something you have to disclose, but I found great power in talking about my experience and talking about my hearing aids and showing people like, you can dress them up with some jewelry and make them personalize them. And when I shifted my mindset in that way to here for me, like I wear my hearing aids for me, they help me, they're powerful, incredible pieces of technology. And I stopped caring what others thought. Like if they have something negative to say about my hearing loss, that says nothing about me and everything about them. And so I brushed it off. I was like, you know what, haters are gonna hate. So I was just like, I gotta think about me. Like I have to think about my life, my mental health, my energy. And so I found that speaking about my hearing loss and putting out that positive energy has helped me experience my hearing loss journey in a more positive.
So what is it for someone to accept their hearing loss?
Like what would I tell them? I think give it time. Don't expect it to happen overnight. And to continue to expect ups and downs. Like I still have bad days, just like anyone has bad days. Like we're human. Some days my hearing aids just aren't performing, and that's one of the downfalls. Like you have to rely on technology. But I mean, we're on our phones all day every day. I mean, let's be serious. So it's one of those things that you just have to literally take it hour by hour. Like just know that you'll get there and talk to someone who gets it, whether it's a friend, a family member. I tell people, my DMs are always open because as much as I can talk to my husband about anything, he doesn't have hearing loss, so he doesn't quite understand, even though he tries. So it's nice to be able to talk to other people in the community to help you kind of get through that process.
Mm.
Oh no,
Level.
well,
And now,
yeah.
okay. I love technology, guys. What I was to say is, what does deaf means to you?
That's interesting. And I find it tricky because I don't necessarily call myself deaf. I call myself hearing impaired or hard of hearing. And I know hearing impaired gets a lot of negativeness towards it, but my hearing is impaired. And I think what that means to me is just going through life and taking life differently. Like I'm still able to hear, so I'm grateful and I'm blessed for that, but I'm just hearing differently. So I'll still try to enjoy different moments or different experiences, but I have to remind myself and remind my brain that it's not what I remember when I was hearing. 25 and younger, it's not quite the same, but it's one of those things that I don't know. That's a really good question. Like, what does that mean to me? I think I don't know. It just means that I'm going through life differently and I'm hearing differently. It's not like a great answer, but it's so unique to the individual's experience too.
Okay, because deaf is not one size fit. There are
Sure.
different levels. People have different laws. Some people use oral. Some people don't want to do either or. So you got to know what deaf means to you. And I always say this: be deaf. There's a framework, but you have to define what that means to you. Don't let the society define it for you. I'm not gonna let my deafness limit me. I'm gonna use it as a motivation. I'm gonna use it as a fuel. Becomes something who I want to become. I see something myself even greater. I'm gonna change the way I view myself. So that's the way I look deafness. See me.
Yeah.
So
That's a good point.
yeah. So let's see. Was there a moment that you're going through now you overcome confidence? Was there a moment that you self-advocate for your, like maybe in work or relationship, like when you're traveling, were you able to self-advocate yourself? Was that a struggle for you?
In the beginning, it was a struggle, but it was more exhausting than a struggle, I think, because having to constantly remind the same people or even new people the same thing, it's just overwhelmingly exhausting. And I think that was one of the aspects that was actually hard for me to accept was that that's going to be what it's always like. Like you're going to always have to advocate for yourself now that you have hearing loss. And I think that was one of the things that had to click in my head that like this is going to be like this forever. Like you're always going to have to advocate for yourself in certain situations. Unfortunately, that's just part of the hearing loss package. But the first few times they did it, I was so nervous. Like, why am I so nervous asking for something that's going to help me? And then once I started doing it more, it became easier and easier. And it was almost like practicing that elevator pitch in my head. Like, okay, this is what I'm going to say. This is what I'm going to ask for. Like, I know I'm going to a gathering. Okay, I'm going to position myself in the room near a window with the lighting. Like, those things you have to think about more. But it's one of those things that, like, with hearing loss, you kind of always have to do. But it's quite exhausting sometimes.
I feel you. So for the people on live, if you have any questions, drop in the chat and me or her What's your question? So going back to what you're saying, I think is exhausting. It's different for everybody. And the way I think about it is you got to know yourself. You got to know self-awareness, know your strength and your weakness.
Totally.
Nah, I'm good. I'm good. I'm not gonna like if you go on a date and you don't need a sign language turn the conversation. Nah, I'm good. I'm good. You gotta know yourself. You gotta know yourself. Like your strength and your weakness, your needs and your wants. You know what I'm saying? If you really want somebody, if you really want something, somebody knows the answer. You just gotta speak up.
Yep.
Speak up. You know what I'm saying? If you try to reach a goal and you're struggling, somebody has to answer. Your voice matters. So speak up.
Yeah. It's so hard though, which is so silly. Like, why is it so hard to speak up for ourselves? Like, I don't know. Like, the reference I always talk about is like when I get my nails done and I don't like the color, I'm worried about offending the person doing my nails, but they don't care. They're not going home with the other color I chose. Like, why is it so hard to advocate our needs, whether it be as small as a nail polish color or as big as like asking someone to repeat themselves or speak clearer or slower or whatever it is? It's just hilarious.
You know what? You know what? Sometimes you'll be things I don't want to talk about. You know what I'm saying? It depends on the situation. I don't want to talk about it. You know that in the environment stuff. Here, pause it. Let me just. Oh, you hear me?
Hold on one second. Way back. And can you keep cutting out? I'm so sorry.
Man, let me see. You can hear me now better?
I can hear you better, just like cuts out a little bit.
All right. Gotta love it. Well, I don't know. Crazy guy. But what I'm saying is, what I lost my thought. What was I saying? Yeah, we were talking about self-advocacy. Like, there'll be some days I don't like to self-advocate myself. It'll be depending on the situation. Maybe an environment where it's like you don't want to cause any conflict. You try to prepare yourself, or maybe I don't know. It's not easy. It's challenging a little bit. It depends on the situation and environment. Like for you, when you go to your nails, it's like, do you like what is it? Like you have trouble, or you might scared what they're gonna say or do, or what? What is it?
Yeah, like I mean that example, I mean, it doesn't have much to do with hearing loss. It's more so like I'll pick the color, right? And I just don't like it when they put it on my nails. So I'm like, I need to tell them I want to change colors, but I just feel awkward and worried about it because they've already started painting my nails. I know that's such a silly example, but it just almost happens every time because I'm like, oh, I don't like that color anymore. Oh, but they started, oh, I don't want to like interrupt them. But then I'm the one that's upset because I didn't speak up.
I believe there's two things. Number one, you're paying money out of pocket. You have power. Even if you don't like it, you can tell them, hey, I don't like it. You mind starting over. And if they do get offended, hey, I'm spending my
That's a good point.
paying you. You know what I'm saying? And you know, I like this phrase: "Closed mouth don't get fed."
That's a good one.
And if you want something, speak up. If your mouth, you're not gonna get what you want. You know what I'm saying that's the way I look at it.
That's good. Yeah, there's one quote too that I like. The answer is always no unless you ask. Right? So in other words, like if you never ask, the answer is always going to be no. So that's what I like to do.
So was it that was a specific moment that was a struggle for you? That was the moment that you self-advocate yourself, or that was a struggle for you?
That was That was a terrible answer on my part. I'm sorry. That was just an example of when I struggle. But with my hearing loss in particular, I think early on when I didn't accept it, that's when the most struggle was trying to advocate for myself, because I didn't want people to know and I didn't want it to be like a focal point about who I am. But now, as soon as I meet someone new, it's like the third sentence out of my mouth. By the way, I have hearing loss. I'm going to probably have to ask you to repeat yourself. So it's become part of like my introduction about myself, and it's become a different aspect of my journey. But the beginning, advocating like the first year or two was a struggle. But then when I just openly started speaking about my journey, it's part of my regular conversations now. Like what I need, how I need people to repeat themselves or whatnot. Which I know was a backwards answer your question, but
No, it's okay. It's okay. I love that you are showing your struggle. It's not easy, and I love that you're owning your story. And I know for me, I struggle with it too. And there will be certain situations that I advocate for myself now. And like, when it's very cloudy, I'll be told like, hey, can you come on this side? I can hear you on my side. I just start work on my inner self. Like, what is the negative thoughts I have in myself? Okay, let me resave that positive thoughts I view myself. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes we're all human. Sometimes we have negative thoughts. Sometimes we just have to take those limiting beliefs that how we got to change the way how we view ourselves. You know what I'm saying? And then once you stand up for yourself and you start to build confidence, it just takes little by little, and you show up.
practice makes perfect, right? The more we do it, the more like the easier it comes and the easier it is to like roll off our tongue and say it.
Yeah, it's like more like, when you go to the gym, it's like the reps.
Yeah.
The more reps you put in, the more results.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what would you say if you had to give one advice to help somebody to self-advocate self, whether if it's in school or workplace or relationships or dating, to speak up their needs, what would you say to them?
That is such a good question. And I think
It don't have to be a right answer. It's about
I
you
think
give it to them.
it's be prepared to have to repeat your needs. And I know that like because I'll say it once and some people just won't get it. So I have to remind myself that I just like needing them to repeat themselves. I need to repeat myself too. And almost guide them on what it is that I need. And so if you're new to hearing loss and you're like, I don't know how to advocate for myself, it takes practice and it also just takes patience with yourself and with the person receiving the need you need, the tips and tricks you need to give them. So like my husband, for example, we've been together 9 years and I still have to remind him with certain things because early on in our relationship, I was hearing, like I heard without my hearing aids. And so we have some bad habits. So when you're advocating your needs, just remember you're going to likely have to repeat yourself and your needs to people you interact with often. So don't get frustrated and don't feel defeated. Just know it's part of the journey, unfortunately.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah.
So moving on to the next question. I see on your report that you are a mother.
Yeah, my daughter's 3, or almost 3, 3 in August.
Wow, what is that like having a hair loss and a child?
Oh my goodness.
What's that like?
It's the most incredible experience. Like I'm so blessed. I'm absolutely love being a mother and I just it's the most incredible experience. I can't even I'm a loss for words of how much I love it. And my daughter sometimes think, I love your hearing aids, mommy, and I'm like, thank you.
Oh, really?
So
Was there a struggle in the beginning? Maybe you hear the baby's crying. How would you hear the noise? you had to tell your husband like a teamwork how to do that.
Yeah. So before I went into labor, I showed my husband how to change my batteries and put my hearing aids in for me, just in case there was a situation that like I needed his assistance. And then for the first 4 months after she was born, I wore my hearing aids 24/7. I only took them out to shower. And that was very overwhelming. And I don't recommend it, but that's just what felt right early postpartum stages. But my brain definitely needed a break, which I was not giving it. Keeping it in all the time, but I was so worried not hearing her. But your mother intuition is a lot stronger than you realize. And I probably could have been a little bit easier on myself. But now that she's 3, like we have, our routines. We have, I know her little sounds in my own way with my hearing aids. Like I hear her. That was one of the struggles is when I got my hearing aids adjusted, she sounds different each time, which breaks my heart a little bit. So I don't know what her real sound is, but I figured out with my hearing aids, like how to make it all work. It's just like the journey. It's part of my journey now. Like this is the only mother experience I've known is with hearing aids and hearing loss. So it's just part of my journey.
Wow. So you as a mother, you have a hearing loss. Now you're a mother. You're a strong mother, and you're a great example. So as when she grows up, she like, wow, mommy does not give up. And you're showing that example, like the struggles and challenges you go through. It will show a great example. So my question is, what advice would you give for deaf and mothers who are raising children? What advice would you tell them? Because you have.
Yeah. I think just be easier on yourself. Like it's a lot. It's a lot. It's very easy to get overstimulated, and like when she cries, my hearing aids ring. So I think it's as a new mom with hearing loss, I think it's important to just try and find those moments to take breaks, to take those hearing breaks, so that you can kind of find a way to regulate your nervous system, and to just know that. Like, I mean, this is all moms, but like, ask for help when you need it. Like, if you need to take that 10-minute hearing break, ask for help from someone. If your husband or partner's not, available, it goes for all moms because it's an overwhelming experience sometimes. But just take those breaks and take care of your ears and your brain as best as you can.
Oh, when I share this content, or people help the mothers out there with their child. So before we wrap this up, is there any goals, any projects that you're working on now that people can support you?
Yeah, so I have a website, heartspirit.com, and I've got a couple things. My latest is this guide here. We're tired of explaining 20 things hearing people just don't seem to get about people with hearing loss. And there's hard copies and digital downloads available, but it's very short form. It's more of a conversational piece. And I made this because early on in my journey, I found it hard to, talk about the struggles. And so I made this for people to give to the hearing people in their lives to try and help them understand a bit more that hearing loss isn't just not hearing. There's a lot more to it. And this is my latest thing that I'm working on. But I also have what I call the Hard to Hear It bundle. And that includes a hearing loss survival guide, a 30-minute webinar about how I shifted my mindset and embraced my hearing loss. There's some hearing aid artwork. And yeah, it's just the website is filled with other businesses and resources to help people. And I tried to make it hip and cool. So when I was in my 20s, I couldn't find something that resonated with me. So I'm trying to, create that resource.
Wow. So you on your website, you also have clothing too, right? I think that clothing.
Closing.
Yeah, like t-shirt.
Yeah. So.
Okay. Yeah. Go.
I don't do the shirts anymore, but I sell the designs that you can make your own. Because here in Canada, shipping is just.
Wait, somebody, I need to cut you off. Somebody said, what is the website? Drop the website. So, listen, I'm going to pin it. Go show some love and go show some support. Let's go. Let's go.
Let me do it. There we go.
Let's see.
Yeah, so I watched the website almost a year ago.
Let me pin it. Let me pin it. Yeah, continue. So that's the website. Go order and place. It's domestic and international, right?
Yeah, so I will ship my food anywhere. They're a little easier to ship than the t-shirts, but I have a bunch of digital products too that just go right to your email.
You know that website. Go sweet some love. So, wow, thank you so for having this live. You are a living proof that your hair loss doesn't hold you back, and I can't wait to see what your future elevators are. You know, I want you to remember your why. You know what I mean? That's gonna help you know your purpose. You know, when you have good days and bad days, you're gonna keep on going. I see you as a future. You're gonna inspire the next generation of women. I see it, but you gotta keep on going. Don't give up. Always remember why. I see you as a leader. I see you as a leader. And don't look at your hair loss as a curse. It's a gift. There's a reason why I give it to you. And you gotta use it as a motivation, use it as a purpose.
Absolutely. Well, and thank you for having me on. These conversations are so important to have. So I'm really grateful to be included in this. So thank you.
Yeah. So for the audience, guys, thank you for having on the live show. Just remember you could thrive with a disability. Until next time, stay motivated, stay proud, keep going, go after what's yours. Take care. Good night.